Disinformation never stops, neither do we. Welcome to StopFake, the place where we dissect disinformation and set the record straight on fakes about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun, and this week we look at the following fakes. U.S. preparing new colored revolution in Ukraine. Ukraine wants a new friendship treaty with Russia, and Ukrainian blood for sale. Let's get to the details. Russian propaganda site Life.ru has published yet another fake claiming the United States is preparing a new colored revolution in Ukraine. Presenting Ukraine as a passive pawn incapable of deciding its own future is an oft-repeated Kremlin trope. Life's article is filled with falsehoods and unrelated snippets of bizarre claims. A series of unsubstantiated and very subjective allegations about U.S. and European controls over Ukraine's political life. The Life.ru article is a dismissive overview of U.S. and European aid programs, from human rights and free media support to infrastructure improvement. The actual text of the article does not really deal with any colored revolutions, despite the claim in the blaring headline. Washington's hand, according to Life.ru, manifests itself in USAID programs supporting free media, civil society development in Ukraine, anti-corruption efforts at the grassroots level, and public oversight of security forces. The U.S. State Department's Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor did announce some of the grants that Life.ru obsesses about. But this is not a first. Similar programs have been underway in Ukraine and other post-communist countries for years. To claim that such programs are preparations for colored revolutions is a pathological misrepresentation of international aid and just patently ridiculous. Leading Russian media declared on March 29th that Ukraine's Foreign Affairs Ministry wants to sign a new friendship, cooperation, and partnership treaty with Russia. Citing Ukraine's Deputy Foreign Minister for European Integration, Olena Zerkal, they claimed that Ukraine has realized the need for a new Ukraine-Russia bilateral agreement. Ukraine's Foreign Ministry proposes new friendship treaty with Russia, declared RT. Kyiv wants to be friends with Moscow, announced RIA Novosti. Argumente y Fakte and the Russian Defense Ministry television channel Zvezda quickly followed suit with similar claims. Now, Deputy Minister Zerkal really did address the issue of the Ukraine-Russia Friendship Treaty while participating in a March 28th radio show. However, she said the existing treaty should be revoked because Russia has violated its basic principles. Zerkal pointed out that the treaty cannot be prolonged because Russia has brutally violated it by annexing Crimea and fomenting a war in the Donbass. She explained that Ukraine hasn't revoked the treaty up to now because that would complicate the various legal suits Ukraine has launched against Russia. Russian media ignored what Zerkal said about Moscow's aggression and completely twisted what she meant. Conveniently, they forgot to mention that Zerkal was advocating for the termination of the existing treaty and presented the issue in a distorted fashion to make it seem as if Ukraine was proposing that the two sides sign a new friendship pact. Ukraine's President Leonid Kuchma and Russian President Boris Yeltsin signed a bilateral treaty on friendship and cooperation back in 1997. The agreement recognizes the inviolability of the two countries' borders, the territorial integrity of the two states, and commits both sides to not use their territory to the detriment of each other's security. The treaty is automatically renewed for another 10 years if the parties do not want to break it, and is currently active until April 2019. On March 24th, Russia's web newspaper Fond Strategicheskoi Kultury, the Fund of Strategic Culture, featured an article claiming the Ukrainian government had decided to export Ukrainians' blood. Ukrainian citizens are about to become biological fodder, quote unquote. The government's bloody business, declared Vesti. Ukrainians' blood becomes a commodity, hailed Politica, while Ukraina.ru announced that Ukrainians are to be left with no blood. These sensationalist claims are most likely based on a December 2017 government decision on the market of blood, blood components, and plasma derivatives authorizing Ukrainian company Biopharma Plasma to export 32 different blood products. Ukraine's health ministry dismissed the Russian media claims that Ukraine is exporting blood as completely false. According to the ministry, Ukraine exports medical products such as albumin produced from leftover blood. Such exports are allowed only after Ukraine's blood product needs are completely taken care of and there are enough reserve supplies in stock to guarantee the country's needs. Ukraine's law on blood donation, enacted in 1995, allows for sale of blood products but stipulates that Ukraine's cabinet of ministers must issue annual authorizations of the process. The law does not allow the sale of blood or plasma, only products made from blood parts. The export or sale of blood is allowed only as a form of humanitarian aid authorized by the government or to manufacture needed blood products that are not made in Ukraine, with the proviso that these products must return to Ukraine for internal use. That's it for this week. For more dissected fakes as well as tips on how to spot them, visit our website, StopFake.org. You can help defend yourself against fakes by checking out some of the interesting work being done by our colleagues to battle disinformation in our context section. Look, respect your mind, be vigilant, and don't consume fakes. If you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.